Greetings, fellow crafters. I'm not sure if you remember this mirror from one of my Dollarama hauls, which I will post in the eye after my intro, but we're going to actually go play with it now. Stick around. Okay, so yeah, what I'm planning to do with this is make sort of like a haunted mirror. So when you look into it, you see I have interesting sound effects. My daughter's playing a haunted Roblox in the next room. I'm going to turn this into a haunted mirror. I do kind of like the gold, but I think silver would be a better thing for this. So I am going to get this out of the packaging, and it is screwed in with these little tabs here. I'm trying a new camera angle. We're going to try a few new things, because apparently not all of my videos have been all that terribly visible. So let's see if we can fix that. Okay, so this seems like it is screwed into place. And I don't know where that voice came from. That's okay. All right. Mama needs a screwdriver. So you can do this with any mirror you find. I did see some small ones at Dollar Tree. If you have one of those around, they weren't quite as elaborate as this one, and this one was $4, not a buck. You can use mirrors you find at estate sales. You can use mirrors that you find at a thrift store. Pretty much any mirror you can find. You can even use just a picture frame with a piece of glass that you use chrome paint on. Emmy, if you're going to continue to narrate, I need you to go elsewhere. Emmy, did you hear me?
Sorry.
So I'm just going to take these screws out because I think that's all that's really holding this little mirror into this plastic frame. I should probably put them in a container so they don't disappear, because this is going to have to be a multi-day. I'm going to turn the light on because light is good. Project. Okay, so that just took the cardboard backing off, and then we have the mirror. So this I am going to take outside on a nicer day. It is a lovely dark and rainy day, which is perfect for Halloween crafting, except for the stuff that you have to do outside. I'm going to take this outside on another day and give it a good coat of black spray paint, and then I'm going to go back with some silver and hit the highlights with it. But that part is going to have to wait for another day because it's miserable rainy outside and I don't have great ventilation in here, so spray paint is not an indoor thing. That leaves us with this. So what I'm going to do, what I want to do, is to introduce this little girl on the back. So first, I'm going to cut this down so that I have a vague idea of what I'm doing. If I do this correctly, I will take off just enough of the silver backing on the mirror so that when you're looking through it, you will see her face starting to peek through. And I literally just went into Pinterest and looked for creepy girl pictures, and she popped up. So there was lots of other ones. I wanted one that was staring directly into frame. staring directly at the camera, so it looks like she's going to be staring directly out of the mirror at you. But you don't have to do it that way. If you want to do it with a particular character from a movie you ever had, you can do that. The world is your oyster with this. This doesn't have to be exact because you're not going to see the whole picture. It's just going to be part of it that you're going to see through. So get that out of there. Yes, I'm thinking a container would be good for those. What containers do I have that are at hand? Emmy, I'm trying to film a video. Can you take that elsewhere? I've asked you 3 times. Okay, so I'm just going to stick these teeny tiny little screws in a pill bottle so they're out of my way. Okay, so now how do we get, there's our picture. The how, you can use different types of chemical means, but again, I don't have great ventilation in here. So I'm going to do manual removing. This is a craft and glue scraper. These, this I found at the Dollar Tree in the craft section. I knew I had one, but I also knew the one I had was not in great shape. These are sharp. This is something that you're not going to want children to do. And you're going to want to take some time with this because you don't want to scratch the glass and you don't want to remove too much. And I'm probably shaking the whole table, which means I'm shaking this camera a bit. I apologize. Looks like there's white paint on top of this mirror. Many mirrors, especially vintage mirrors, if you're using an old one, have black paint. Yeah, so you can sort of see through the scratches. Yeah, so you can see white through the scratches, so we're starting to get there. But you can't really make it a face yet, so we're going to have to continue doing more scraping. also do this with a box cutter, laser blade. Look at that. Starting to really be able to see her face. So I'm going to see if I can widen that out so you can get more of her hair. You don't want it too clean. Actually, I'm going to do a little bit more, but I think I'm about there where I want it. Yeah, I don't think I want to do any more. I think that's about where I want it. I still want it to be a reflection, but you see creepy face through it. This actually might work better if you did it off to the side, so the first thing you see is yourself, and then, oh my god, what's that?
That is creepy.
So that is the mirror part done. Now I just have to have some nicer weather to go out and do the frame. But yeah, I think I'm going to do it like that. So I'm going to cut this a little bit different.
You did it, so it actually looks super creepy.
You had doubts?
Like, just the way you did that made it look super creepy because of all the scrapes and stuff.
It's almost like something's trying to claw its way through the mirror.
Yeah. And also, the PC just died.
Did you plug it in?
I don't know where the plug-in thingy is. For the
Okay,
triggers.
okay. Still filming. Alright, we'll get to that in a minute.
There we go.
Let me just stand up, make sure that this is still in frame. One creepy mirror. Perfect. So next time you see me, we will be coming back to take a look at the spray painted frame, and we're going to dry brush it with some silver so that it complements this a little bit better. See you in a minute. Okay. Okay, so it's now several days later because, you know, work, life, stuff happens. That's just reality. And today is now the 28th of July. It is a Tuesday. I bought spray paint relatively shortly after doing this. And then work happened and I didn't have any time, and then when I did have time the weather was crappy, and you know, stuff happens. I took this out yesterday and spray painted it and brought it back in after it went, just before it got dark, with the intention of filming this part, only to realize I could see the gold through way too much of it, so I needed to spray paint it again. So it's now been spray painted a second time. And PSA, wear a respirator when you use your spray paint. I very foolishly said, I don't need that, I'm going to be outside. And I felt like I was coughing up fumes for hours afterwards. Don't do that. I wore the respirator today when I went out, and much better experience. Definitely do recommend. Wear your PPE. At least wear a dust mask. If you have a respirator or can source one, wear one of those. That's just the smart thing to do. Don't be me. Okay, ignore the ads. We're just going to use this. So I didn't think I needed to show you how to use a spray paint other than the whole wear a respirator thing. If you're concerned about it, you may want to rough up, if you're going to do the spray paint thing, you may want to rough up your surface to give the spray paint something to grab onto. I just used a very inexpensive can of black gloss spray paint. This was $4.50 at Walmart, I think. Most of the spray cans were $8, so I really cheaped out. But we're gonna go over this with dry brushing. Yes, that is a diamond painting boat I'm using. Waste not, want not. Okay. So, this does not require much paint. I'm gonna do, so I am going to wipe off as much paint as I can. Basically, I am trying to get the brush about as dry as I can. And I'm going to test this in a kind of inconspicuous spot to see if I am where I want to be. Yeah, okay. Maybe a little more paint. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going over this, a little less paint, with silver. So it picks up in the highlights. I may have to do it a couple of times to really get it. But I don't want this to look black when I'm done. I want it to look like it is tarnished silver. And the way you do that is a glossy black coat, and then you dry brush the silver over top. So if I go a little heavy on the silver, it's probably not going to hurt anything. But you don't just want to paint it silver. You want... This is not working as well as I would have hoped. But you want it to look silvered, but not pristine silver. Yeah, maybe we can go a little more silver. So long as it's hitting more of the highlights and leaving the black undertone, you're going to get the silvered look that you want. That was too much silver. Too much, too much, too much, too much, too much, too much. And you may have to go over it a couple of times, but you want it to look dark. You want it to look precious, but you want it to look dark. And you can do as much or as little as you want. I'm probably going to go over this with a good silvering and then maybe rub it down and do a dark wash. Which if I do decide to do that, I will film that as well. So I'm going to do a little movie magic and show you the next step. Okay, so it's been a minute. I originally took, I'm not sure how I'm going to end up editing this, I have a lot of extra footage, but I originally took this and did a dry brushing technique on it, so I meant to leave it mostly black and just put silver on it, but decided I didn't really like that look. So I went back and put a thicker coat of silver on it, and I like this. It's not perfect. You can still very clearly see black through it, but silver tarnishes to black, so it looks like a silver frame that is in bad need of polish. You don't want something made for Halloween that looks too perfect, in general. So, I am going to reassemble my mirror. Very carefully. There. Okay. I want to put this so that it's facing up. Going that way. Okay. So we just set the cardboard back on. Grab out my screws that I kept in there, and we'll put the back on. Maybe. In theory, just need to line it up. There we go. There's that one. So I wouldn't tighten the screws down all the way. I would get them in first. It's not going in. These are dollar store products. They're not world's greatest quality, really. If you were able to get a nicer mirror from, say, an estate sale or a thrift store, you're probably ahead of the curve on this one. There we go. I think that's got it. Although a nicer made mirror may actually be more difficult to take apart.
Yeah, that seems to have it lined up well enough. Put it back reassembled. And there she is. Silver frame and native polishing. I don't have my Halloween decorations out as yet. When I do, I think I might see about maybe putting some spider webs on here. And maybe a creepy crawly. Because the idea is this has been set abandoned in my house for a while. Which is not unrealistic. But that is my haunted mirror. I hope that helped you out for maybe some ideas for your own haunted space. Like the video if you enjoyed it, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, click the bell to get notifications whenever I decide to post a video or maybe even go live. I've been trying to figure that part out. And I'll see you in the next one. Keep it spooky, guys.